Hi guys. I wanted to show you guys a game, the Urusov Gambit, and this is gonna be another four-part series. Um, and I chose the Urusov Gambit because it's very sharp and it sets a lot of traps for your opponent at the cost of just being down a pawn. It's very worth it to go for. This e4, e5, bishop c4, knight f6, and d4 is the line we're talking about. Takes on d4 here, knight f3. This is the main position, and you'll see a lot of other moves here. You'll see bishop b4 check. Of course, if knight c6, e5 is a line we already analyzed, at least from the black side. And then you will also see d5 in these positions. You have to know that side line. c5 is another move that you'll need to know. I'm not going to go into these, but my recommendation after bishop c5 here, for example, is just to castle, and then if knight c6 to go e5 and play for a max sling attack, which is going to be in a future series. I'm going to cover those lines also. But in this lecture, I'm just going to cover what happens after knight takes e4. And this is the main position of the Urusov Gambit. And queen takes d4, knight f6, and bishop g5. And I have a game that's Timoshchennko against Anatoly Karpov here. And so at the time, Karpov, best player in the world probably. And Timoshchennko playing this Urusov Gambit against him. It makes for a very exciting game. Knight c3, c6 was played here, trying to prepare d5. White normally castles on the queen side in these lines. And now d5 here was answered by rook h2. Go queen h4. That way the rook is lined up against the queen, and black is prevented from taking the bishop on c4. But still, after rook h to e1, you can still see this still prevents black from taking the bishop, because queen takes on d8 is actually checkmate, since this bishop is pinned like this. So white doesn't have to move the bishop yet. And bishop e6, now you can understand this move because it unpins this bishop, and now this becomes a threat once again. And therefore bishop d3 was played. And again, I just wanted to mention queen h4 is still a way that move that could have been played. And it's also a very interesting way to play. But bishop e6 or bishop g3 here is what was played. Might actually be the best move as well. And knight to d7 here. I just want to briefly mention queen a5 and bishop f5 is the right idea here to put pressure on e6. But knight to d7 was played in the game. Queen h4, and now c5, which might have been a little bit of an inaccuracy by Karpov. Maybe knight c5 would have been better, but knight c5 still, white would have had this knight d4 idea to put more pressure on e6. And so let's see what's going to happen after c5. Well, knight e5 is what was played by Timoshchennko, and knight takes on e5 here. He just takes with the rook, and now d4 is played and answered by f4. So he still doesn't he's still willing to sacrifice this knight here. And let's see what would happen if takes on d3. Well, bishop b5 check, and knight d7 here. Surprisingly, rook takes on d7. Bishop takes d7. Bishop takes on e7 here. So white definitely getting the better of that variation. And so instead of taking, on c3. Let's look at castling instead. Let's see what would happen here. Bishop takes f6. Bishop takes f6, for example. Yeah, and then just queen takes h7 mate. So that doesn't work out either. And by process of elimination, Karpov chose the best move, which was knight to d7 here. And bishop b5 was played. Bishop takes g5. And f takes g5. Queen c7 by Karpov. Now bishop takes d7 check. Karpov takes with the king. And now queen e4 was played. And already you can see that white has a pretty good advantage in this position. I'm sure everyone would prefer the white pieces here. Queen c6 was played by Karpov, but maybe a better try in this position was to play b6 first. But he wanted to try to simplify the position here. Queen c6. Surprisingly, white has a really good move here, and I want you guys to pause the video and try to see what you would play if you had the white piece. So I'll give you a couple seconds. Alright, and I hope you guys found the move rook takes c5 exclam. And first, let's look at what would happen if the sacrifice was just accepted. Queen takes c5 here. What do you play here? You play queen takes on b7 check. Right? So that after this check, the king has to go to d6. Because obviously if they go to d8 here, the rook just drops. So king d6. And now knight e4 exclam. Just winning back the queen here with a better position. So obviously this rook cannot be accepted. That's why in the game Karpov took the queen on e4. But now after knight takes e4, he had nothing better than to try to challenge this open c file with rook hc8. And Timoshchennko just takes on g4 with the rook, king e7, and it's starting to look like white does have an advantage in this game. After a4, b6, rook takes on c8, the rooks are traded here, the king goes to d2, bishop f5 was played, c4, rook c6, knight g3, bishop e6, trying to put pressure on that c pawn here. King c3 defends it. Rook c5, attacking the g pawn, which was defended by h4, and after h6, b4, rook c8, knight e4, f5, knight f2. Karpov took on g5, h takes g5, rook h8, trying to get something, trying to at least cause some kind of problems to Timoshchennko. But knight h3. So very nice consolidating move. Bishop d7. Now b5. Rook h5. King b4 just climbing up the board. a5 inevitability here. Bishop e6. a6. King d7. Bishop d7. King c3. g6. King b4. Rook c8. Knight f4. Rook c5. Black can't really do anything here. Knight d3. Rook c8. c5 was played. B takes c5. Knight takes c5. Bishop e8. g3. Rook c7. Rook d1. I just want to quickly get through the rest of this game. Rook c8. Rook e1 check. King d6. Knight b7 check. King d7. d3. Bishop f7. Rook d3 check. King e7. Rook c3. The rooks get traded off here. bishop d5, king d4, bishop g2, king c5, bishop f1, knight a5, and this is the position where Karpov resigned. So I want to quickly recap on that game here. We're looking at the main line of the Urusov Gambit, where the knight goes back to f6, bishop g5, and then this typical c6 d5 idea that you're going to see. Remember, you want to pin this knight on e7 to prevent black from taking the bishop. And after he blocks the e file here, remember the bishop wants to go back to d3. And this queen h4 idea, this is the main setup of your pieces here. This is how you want to proceed. c5 was a slight mistake, and you saw that that white had this nice idea of sacrificing this knight because if the knight is taken, they can throw in this check first and then simply sacrifice this material here to pry open this file. You can see all the pressure that white has in a position like this. So just some things to remember. And you know, this is more likely what you'll see is knight d7 when you still want to go bishop b5 here, and takes on g5. You just want to take with the f pawn. You can see that it wasn't too hard to get a nice advantage here. Queen c6 was played here. Even after b6, knight b5 looks quite good, and now you have another nice sacrifice as knight takes d4 here. Just another way that black can go wrong here. So there's lots of ways that black can go wrong this line, and white gets an advantage. And here it was only slight, but Timoshchennko had the endgame technique to convert it into a win. So that was a pretty thematic game of the Urusov Gambit. I just wanted to show a lot of the tactics that you can get into, the traps that you can set. And we're going to cover 3 more games in this line that are going to be in the next parts. And thank you guys.